Hello everyone, welcome back to Twisted Serenity. Thanks for clicking on my channel. So today I'm so excited you guys because I am starting off with some Christmas gingerbread DIYs. These are my favorite type of DIYs to create and I really hope you guys enjoy them. Remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and turn on that bell notification to be notified when I post my next video. So with that being said, sit back and relax or craft with me. Let's get started. Okay, you guys, so we're going to start off with a Dollar Tree toy. It's like a little frying pan grill type thing. And since it is plastic, I'm going to just paint it with some, I think it's plaster chalk paint. Any type of chalk paint is going to work. We are going to go over it with our acrylic paint. And the chalk paint is just giving the acrylic paint something to hold on to. Now I mixed together some apple barrel, nutmeg brown, and territorial beige. And it gave me this little color. Now once it was completely dried, I'm going to start to draw my little gingerbread face. I'm no artist you guys, but I love to draw these little faces. And I think they're just so stinking cute. And then I'm going to go in with some thin paint brushes and just paint in the face. A little tip that I'm going to show you guys. I have this thin like makeup, what is it called? Eyeliner. And I just picked it up from Dollar Tree. And it's very good to get those thin lines. Now I'm using paint, I'm not using the makeup. I'm dipping it inside the paint. But I just wanted to show you guys to keep that in there. So I just continued to paint the face and I just got all the little details in there. Now I just mixed some red and white paint to do some like little rosy cheek. I drew some little hearts in the cheeks and then I used the puffy paint just to go around the rim, the border of it, just to give it more detail. And then I painted the handle in the back of it with some black paint. And then I topped it off with a little stripe, red and white stripe bow. And that was it for this one, you guys. Okay, I'm starting off with a tin can, you guys. You guys could use anything you have. Now, I made this label on my Cricut design space. And I had to break it up into two because it's not going to fit around the can. So I'm just going to cut it and then I'm going to see where I'm going to attach it at. Now, I made something like this back in fall time with the marshmallows, like the marshmallow campfire. And I wanted to create one for Christmas time, and how cute would it be? Gingerbread. So I'm just going to lay out the label and I'm putting some light Mod Podge on. And once I lay out the label little by little, I am going over it with some saran wrap. Now remember, this label is into two. So when I get to the second part, I do have to match it up and overlap it and make sure it's all lined up just to make it look all like one piece. You guys, I wish I knew how, if somebody could tell me how I can link this down for you guys to have it. I will definitely try to do so. Now I'm just going to go over Mod Podge and just make sure that's all secured down. And then I want to distress it. So I take my chippy brush first and distress it with some antique wax. And then I want to give it that faux rust. So I'm going to take my sponge with some black paint, dab it first, then go over it with some Mod Podge, and then sprinkle some cinnamon. And I do this all around, like different areas all around the can. I don't overly just like make it rusty, but I just do it in some spots. Now I need to make my little gingerbread cookies. I have some air dry clay and some mini cookie cutters. I did try to like make it brown, but as it dries up it got too lighter, so you guys are going to see that I am going to paint these. Now these cookie cutters, I got them last year on Temu for like $1, you guys. Now since the air dry clay, I'm just putting some water and then I'm going to mix up my paint just to give it that more of a gingerbread color, because it does really, like, you guys see like the clay looks brown. I was trying to like make it look like that, and then I waited for one to dry up and it got completely white on me. So once I painted them, I go over them with some Mod Podge, and while they're wet, I sprinkle some Dollar Tree sand on them to make them look like they have a little bit of sugar on top. Now I take some wax paper, since I don't have no fancy brown parchment paper, and I stain it with some antique wax. I place my cookies in the can, and that is it. Okay, you guys, I'm taking one of those little mini rolling pins that I have and some more of that air dry clay that I had. Now, I should have used like the soft air dry clay for this one because this clay was really heavy for it. Now, I rolled it up into a ball and I made some little arms. I'm going to try to make like a little gingerbread body to go on top of our mini rolling pin. Those two little pieces I took out look a little gross, but those are our arms, you guys. So what I'm doing, I'm just rolling them out, and then on one end of them, I'm just trying to give it like a little point, because I need the point part to wrap around our circle, which is our little gingerbread head. I always have, when I'm working with this clay, since it dries up so quick, I always have like a little bowl of water and a paintbrush next to me to always moisten it up. Now I'm just taking the little mini rolling pin and I'm just trying to form it out to see how I want this to dry up. Now, as you see, I'm just going with the paintbrush just to get rid of some of those cracks. So I'm going to set let's try this again. I'm going to set that to the side and I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to take our rolling pin and I'm just going to paint the middle with some apple barrel candy apple, and I'm going to stain the handles with some antique wax. Now comes the fun part. We're going to decorate our little gingerbread man. So I'm just taking my Dollar Tree like fabric puffy paint. I'm giving it some eyes. Now I'm taking that little dotting tool and I'm just making a little dot in the nose, because I'm going to take some red clay and I'm going to roll it into a little ball, and that's going to be our nose. But I just needed to stick it in so it wouldn't be so poked out like a clown nose or like a Rudolph nose. The red wasn't as red as I wanted it to be, so I just went over it with a little bit of that candy apple paint. I take my little pointy tool and I form the mouth. I had took some white puffy paint and I put some white puffy paint around the arms, just like I'm doing on the head. Now, I'm going to go over it with some Mod Podge, because you guys can see, you see how it dries up, that paint dries up like very, very light. So I'm going to just go over some Mod Podge and with some glitter and give it like a little bit of a sparkle sugar type to our little gingerbread man. So I do that to the head and I do that to the arms as well. Now I want to glue it, and you guys are going to see me doing it with hot glue. Afterwards, like a couple hours later, I went with Eileen's tacky glue and I glued it on. So I don't do it with hot glue, you guys, because obviously the hot glue melts our little piece. So now at the end of the rolling pins, I grab my white puffy paint and I put some icing drips, and some more glitter on top of that. And then I take my faux little sprinkles and I add some faux little sprinkles onto the ends, you guys. This clay, like I said, was so heavy, it wasn't standing up. So I grabbed some stoppers like you could get at Dollar Tree, and I glued on the bottom and I just painted them red, like the middle of our rolling pin, and that was it, you guys. Okay, you guys, so these next two go together. So I'm showing you guys, I have a foam dice. A lot of people have done these. And I'm going to take some white balloons, cut the ends, and I'm going to cover it with two balloons. I'm making two different one of these. The first one I'm doing, I'm just showing you guys, I'm covering one dice with a balloon. And then the other dice that I'm going to do, I am going to paint it. So you guys could do either way that you guys prefer. So now with this one, I'm going in with some chalk paint, and then I'm going to go over it with our gingerbread mixture color that I've been doing with a foam brush. And then I am going to draw another little mini gingerbread face. Now I just go in with my paint brushes again. I paint everything in. I'm going to fill in all those little details. And I didn't notice how many clay projects I did in this video, you guys. But Dollar Tree does sell clay. I've said that many times before. Or you could go to Walmart and get clay as well. It is fairly inexpensive. And for me to say that it's fairly inexpensive because I'm cheap or frugal, how some people want to say it, it's fairly inexpensive, you guys. Okay, as you guys see, I'm going in with my puffy paint, giving it some drippings all around. And then I'm going to take my faux little sprinkles. I'm going to put it right on top. A peppermint right on top of our little gingerbread man. And then our little mini gingerbread right on top of it. Now I have those little faux peppermint sprinkles, and I'm going to use those as cheeks. And that is it for our little mini gingerbread one. And now we're going to move on to our little like marshmallow hot cocoa slasher thing. So now for this one, I used the balloon and the vinyl. And I'm just going to transfer on the face. And then I'm going to go in with our chocolate or brown puffy paint. And as you guys can see, I'm being cheap again. I squeezed a little bit out. And I put it, I smoothed it out with the, stick. Now I wanted to give it a handle. So I had like a little fake candy cane. So I poked some holes on the side. And I did stick like hot glue inside the holes. And I just bent that little fake candy cane to give it a fake little handle, as you guys can see what I'm doing. Then once I got my handle on, I'm gonna go in with my fake little sprinkles, you guys. And I got these on Temu for like $1 a bag. And I decorated and stuck a peppermint on this one, and that was it. Okay, so we're gonna use 6 Jingle Blocks for these, and these are the Jingle Blocks. You guys could use a tumbling tower blocks or a scrap piece of wood. So I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna just take 2 sets of 3 with some wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to put them all together, and then I'm going to glue them on top of the 2 sets on top of each other just to make a wooden block. Now I am just going to go in with some wood filler, and I'm going to fill in those gaps, sand it up, and clean it all up. Okay, I'm going to take a little styrofoam ball, and I'm going to cut it in half. Now, I learned from my little rolling pin one, and I used some air dry clay, and I wanted to show you guys. Dollar Tree sells air dry clay like this, and then they sell like little sets like that. And then they have this air dry clay is like that thick brown that needs water. So I'm using the big pack of the yellow, and obviously it's not going to stay yellow. And I rolled it out, and I'm just going to use this to cover our rolling pin. I'm sorry, our styrofoam ball. And then I'm going to use some white, and I'm going to go over it as well. I just wanted it to be thicker, so I didn't have that much white, so that's the reason why I used the yellow first. And then I'm going to go over it with the white because it's going to be easier to paint. So I just cover it and I just smooth it out. And then I take 2 pieces of that yellow, and I'm going to make hands again, but this time I'm going to take 2 little pieces to the side of it because I want our little hands to look like little gloves, like the little thumb is sticking out. So I'm taking our pieces again, and I'm laying it out on our wooden block. Like I did with the rolling pin, I just want to form it out first before I can let it dry. Now I'm going to take our paint, and I'm going to paint all our clay pieces and let them dry. I gave them about 2 coats. Then we're going to take our wooden block, and we're going to paint it. I painted it red. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with some glitter. If there's any time for glitter, is during Christmas time, you guys. I'm not a big fan of glitter, but during Christmas, and especially gingerbread, I love glitter. So I am just rubbing it in, and then I am going to go back to our clay pieces, and I am going to coat them with some Mod Podge. Now we are basically going to do the same thing as we've been doing. So I'm coating it with Mod Podge, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with some glitter to give it that like little shiny cookie glow. And then I am going to do our face and paint it our face, use our puffy paint, do the whole shindig that we've been doing throughout all these projects, I should say. The only thing that was different with this one, I gave it a little gingham bow with a little snowflake charm in the middle, and I glued it right on there. Now all our pieces are done. I put some Aleene's tacky glue, and I took our little gingerbread head and I glued it on there. And then I put more Aleene's tacky glue. I used a paintbrush to help me get it on there around the curves of the head. And then I took one arm one by one, and I glued them right on. And since we formed them before it dried up, it looks like the little hands are holding the little box, which is so cute. But we're not done there, because once we glue our pieces down, I have this ribbon, and I used some Fabri-Tac glue, and I cut 2 pieces down, and I laid 1 piece going vertical and 1 piece going horizontal. And then I made a bow using this ribbon, and I glued the bow on to our little gift box. Now it looks like a little gingerbread holding a gift box. I am in love with this one. Let me know what you guys think. And that is it for today, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I had so much fun creating these projects. And remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that bell notification to be notified when I post my next video. And make sure you guys stay tuned, because it's the beginning of my favorite gingerbread DIYs. I do want to thank you guys so much for always supporting me and always being so kind. And as I always say, this world could throw you twists and turns, but always make good choices. To the next one, you guys.